Okay, in this video I'm going to show you how to model the flash suppressor for the assault rifle. Now the flash suppressor is based on this design that I'm looking at in the picture reference that I have. Okay, but it is also quite common in AR-15 or M-16 rifles, like for example in this example that I found on the internet. Right, so I'm trying to replicate this diamond shape, and the basic shape that you start off with is naturally the cylinder shape. So let's get started. We're going to create a 30-sided cylinder. Shift right mouse click and create a cylinder, and in the channel box pressing Ctrl A, and under the inputs polycylinder just clicking on the word, you can change the number of size to 30. Now I don't need the caps, so I'm going to get rid of the top and bottom caps. So rather than selecting all the faces, I'm going to show you a quick way to select the faces. Select the top vertex and the bottom vertex. Okay, go to vertex mode, select the top and bottom vertex. So right mouse click, go to vertex mode, select the top and bottom vertex. Holding down the control, right mouse click, then you can change the selection of the vertices from vertices to faces to faces. So now you see all faces that are touching the vertices are now selected. Then we can actually press delete to delete away the top caps. Right, so now I'm going to reduce the diameter of the cylinder. So select, or actually you can double click and pressing R, and then click on the non-uniform scale to scale it generally to about the same dimensions of the suppressor. Then I'm going to scale everything up. Okay, so making things big will make your selection a little bit easier. Okay, let me just undo that movement. I should move the object in object mode first, out of the way. Okay, rather than moving them in component mode, otherwise the center will be left behind. So now I have this basic shape to work with. So next I want to extrude it inwards. Okay, select all the faces by double clicking on it, shift right mouse click and extrude it inwards. Okay, move along the blue arrow axis. Okay, or you can adjust the value here by clicking on the text and sliding left and right until you have a rough shape, okay, or the thickness of the flash suppressor that you want. So once you've done that, we need to only retain about 5 sections of these faces. So select the edge loop, select one face first, shift, double click, and until if you press number 4, you notice that one section is now selected. And then using this trick, you can increase the selection so that you will slowly increase from the sides. So we need to select only 5. So use this keyboard combination to increase selection. Shift full stop to increase the selection. Okay, until you have 5 sections selected. If you want to reduce selection, you can press shift comma. Alright, so we want to select until it's 5 sections. And then you want to inverse the selection, so press Ctrl Shift I to inverse the selection and then press delete. So now we have this section. Okay, don't worry about the color of the faces because they are reversed. We can fix that later on. So now select the open edge on the sides, and then we're gonna fill up the hole and fill up the hole. Shift right mouse button and then fill up the hole. Okay, so once you have done that, we can reverse the faces. Select by double clicking on the face, then go to mesh display and reverse. Right, so now it is inserting the edge loop time. So we're going to go to edge mode, select the edge, shift right mouse click, insert edge loop. So let's try that again. Shift right mouse click, insert edge loop, and I am going to bring up the edge loop properties, insert edge loop properties, the tool settings, and I'm going to enable this multi edge loops 2 and use equal multiplier. So click on it, then 2 of the edge loops will be selected or created. Then use R to scale them upwards. Okay, let's see, we need to use scale. I think the scale is in the wrong orientation. We need to change it to world. Alright, and now we'll try to scale this up so that we can slide the edge loops upwards. We're going to repeat the insert edge loop again, insert another 2 equivalent scale or equivalent edge loops, then press R and scale it up to slide them up. Okay, I'm going to repeat the process again. Click on insert edge loop 2, the last used 2 here, and insert one more section here. And this time I'm just going to scale and move them up about here. Right, so 1, 2, 3, and then maybe one more here. And then finally I'm going to reset my insert edge loop 2, and then I'm going to enable the multiple edge loop again, but this time I'm going to use only one because I want to insert one more edge loop right at the center here. Alright, now you can see why I need to cover up the hole here, because I need the edge loops to continue all the way around here. So now it's time for us to model the diamond shape. So first, okay, we need to enable the edge slide tool. So go to edge mode again, shift right mouse click, go to slide edge tool, click on the, actually rather than using a slide edge tool, there will be a much better way, that is to use the modeling toolbox. Okay, click on the modeling toolbox, and under the transform constraint, turn on this edge slide. Okay, so once this is on, you can select two opposing edges. Okay, make sure you select the two edges here, right? And then using scale, okay, scaling them only in the non-uniform, you can scale them outwards until you have this rough diamond shape like this. We're going to do the same for the other side. Okay, select these two, the central edges, and again using scale, make sure you don't scale uniformly. You want to scale using this non-uniform along the X and the Z axis, and scale it outwards until you form the same diamond shape. Okay, now in order to create a taper for the hole, we need to select the internal faces, okay, that's going in, and then we're just gonna scale them inwards like that. Okay, on hindsight, perhaps for this version we can use the uniform scale, okay, but that's going to change the shape. That's not what I want. Okay, I'm going to disable this edge slide, and then I'm just going to manually scale it down vertically like this, and I think that's about okay. That looks right to me. Alright, now we can go ahead and delete away these faces, and also delete away these faces as well. Okay, now we need to bridge the open edges. So go to edge, double click to select the open hole, shift double click to select the outer open hole, so that your inner and outer open hole is selected. Okay, and then apply a bridge, shift right mouse click and bridge. Okay, so now we actually have the entire section nicely created, but let's take a look at it, how it looks like subdivided. So if we press number 3, you notice that you will lose a lot of the detail along the edges. So now we need to insert more supporting edges. So pressing number 1 to go back to level 1, I'm going to bring back my insert edge loop tool. Okay, and then start to insert one edge loop right about here. Okay, right now the insert in the middle line is still active. I want to insert it so that it is close to the edge here. So I'm going to open up my insert edge loop tool options and reset the tool, so I can insert and slide the edge down here. Okay, so I got one edge loop inserted there, and I'm going to insert one edge loop in the inner part of the hole so that it is near the edge there, and I'm going to insert one more and then slide it down to the bottom of the hole here. Okay, and in order to keep the height of the edge consistent, okay, we're going to make use of the transform constraint again, edge slide, and I'm going to use multiple edge loops. I'm going to use one, but I'm going to use the midpoints, the use equal multiplier, so that I can insert this middle distance here like so, and I'm going to do the same for this one and this one. So now I'm going to make use of the transform constraint. Okay, press Q to go to select, double click to select this edge loop, shift double click to select this edge loop, okay, and then press W to move. But because we enable slide, we can actually slide the edge loops without distorting the shape. So this is actually quite very useful. So next we select this middle portion edge, and I'm going to slide it up until it's near to the portion here. The reason why we are inserting all these edge loops is so that when we subdivide it, okay, we can see the detail of the whole much nicer. Okay, now left with this edge loop, I can actually, okay, I'm going to turn off this slide and just want to use the normal slide tool, shift right mouse click and slide, middle mouse click and slide it as close to the edge as I can. And let's take a look at the holes now. Okay, this one looks about alright, except for this part here. Okay, this edge is a bit too close, so I'm going to select this edge and I'm going to slide the edge upwards. Okay, so it doesn't crease over. Right, now I don't think I need this extra edge. Okay, select this edge loop, Control Delete. Okay, the top part of the face looks quite sharp. Okay, now we can delete away half of these face because we only want to create the top half. We can duplicate this again using the duplicate special. So I'm going to select the bottom faces and delete it away, and I can start to select the faces on the sides and delete these away as well. Okay, I have to be very careful not to select the face that I do not want to delete. Right, and I'm going to delete away these faces as well. Right, make sure you select this top part, this little face here, so you'll end up with a section of the flash suppressor. So this is the main piece that we have created so that we can duplicate the remaining 5 using duplicate special. The center is still the original cylinder center, okay, and we can now use the duplicate special. So edit, duplicate special, click on the option box, and we want to create an instance. Okay, and for the scale, we're just gonna, let's just reset everything first. Okay, you're gonna create an instance or copy, up to you. We're gonna rotate this every 60 degrees because there are all together 6 parts of these, because there are 6 holes. So 360 divided by 6 is 60. So we're going to rotate along the y-axis, alright, which is indicated by the selected axis here, or the green axis. So x, y, so enter 60 degrees, and we want to create 5 pieces, and then we can duplicate special. So if you created everything nicely, position all the edge loops properly, all the edge loops should line up properly. So this will help you in merging the pieces together. So let's turn on the wireframe unshaded so you can see everything is lining up properly. You notice over here I also turn on this HUD display, the heads up display, and I turn on this polygon count so I can see how many vertices are there. Okay, so now we can combine all these duplicates together. Go ahead to mesh combine to combine them together. So now they are a single object. However, they are not a continuous edge loop face. If I double click on it, they are still separate components. So I need to select all the vertices. Okay, go to select all the vertices and then apply a merge. Now take note, I have 696 vertices selected. So after merging, there should be a significant reduction. And also check that your shape, right, is not significantly affected, because if your vertices are too close to one another, they might get merged. So because I scaled up my flash suppressor model, this will help to reduce the instance of the details being merged away. So I'm going to use the merge tool, option box. I'm going to use the default distance, and then I'm going to hit merge. Now observe carefully to see whether the detail is lost. I'm going to hit merge. Right now we only have 696. Then merge, there should be a reduction, and let's see, we can see some loss of detail, so let's undo. Okay, so that means the vertices are too close to one another. I'm going to use a higher value distance, so click on the merge or rather a much smaller merging distance, so 0.00001, and then I'm going to try merge. So now only vertices that are on top of each other will get merged. Okay, so I'm still getting that merge distance, so I'm going to try this because I did a scale earlier on. So I'm going to delete the history, Alt Shift D to delete the history, and I'm going to freeze the scale, modifies freeze transformations, and then I'm going to try merging again. Okay, so hopefully only vertices that are on top of each other will get merged. So edit mesh, merge 0.0001, and let's try that again, merge. Okay, so there's no change. Okay, all the edge loops are still there. So if I press number 3, okay, everything looks good. And to test whether this is a single piece, I'm going to select the edge loop on top, select this face, shift select. Yes, it is a continuous edge loop, so that means the merge is now successful. If I double click on this, everything will be selected, so that's good. Okay, but I still notice a loss of detail on the edge here. Now I can choose to do it again. Let me just undo. I think I lost some detail after the merge. Yes, I lost this edge loop, I think because this edge loop was pushed to the edge until it is almost sitting on top of the other vertices. So I'm going to use my slide edge tool and then slide it down. And because, okay, let me see, did I create copies or did I create, okay, because I combined all of them together, yes, I think I have to redo the duplicate special again. So let me delete away all these components, and I'm going to slide this down a little bit. Alright, and I'm going to repeat my duplicate special, edit duplicate special, and we're going to do the same thing again, duplicate special, and we'll have the same duplicates again. So this time I'm going to try combining them again. Mesh combine, and go to vertex mode, select all the vertices, then edit mesh, and then merge. Okay, this time it seems to be holding, and let's test out the continuous edge loop. Yes, it's working, and I'm not losing the detail over this hole. Otherwise I will have to manually insert the edge loop, which I do not want to do. Okay, so now what is left is duplicate the bottom so that we can join these two ends. So with this upper half selected, I'm going to use the duplicate special again, and I'm going to create only one copy. Just let's reset the settings. I'm going to create one copy, and I'm going to duplicate along the negative y axis, so negative y. Okay, if I duplicate special now, this will happen. Okay, you have the duplicate sitting on top of each other, which is not the result that I want. So let me just undo that. Okay, what I need to do is I need to just go to front view and move the center, press W to go to move, and then press D to shift the center until it's right at the bottom edge here. So you can hold down to V, or you can hold down to X. Okay, let me just use V, and I'm going to just move it down until it snaps to the bottom like this. Alright, press D to get out of pivot adjustment mode. And now with the pivot right at the bottom, if you apply the duplicate special, alright, in the negative y axis, you should have the bottom edge line up nicely. So again, I'm going to combine these two, mesh combine, and I'm going to select only the central vertices, because right now I know only these edges needs to be merged. So going to wireframe, I'm just going to select these central vertices. Then we have 168 selected, and edit mesh and merge. Now we only have 84 vertices. That means right now this is a continuous single piece of the Flash Suppressor. So once you're happy with this, you can start to scale it down, okay, to match the size of your weapon. And you can actually select these faces, and to scale it up or extrude it out, okay, remember my expand selection, shift full stop to increase selection, then I can extrude these faces. Okay, I'm just gonna move the faces out, and I'm gonna use a non-uniform scale to scale them inwards. Okay, I'm gonna select only the continuous loop here, then press G to extrude using the global axis, and then just pull it out. Press G again to extrude another section. So now I've created my Flash Suppressor. And if you want, you can insert another edge loop here to just tighten up the edge. Just slide the edge down here. If I subdivide this, pressing number 3, I'll have a very nice looking Flash Suppressor. Put it down to J and then rotate it in snap mode. So that is how you model the Flash Suppressor using Maya. So I hope that the tips that I covered is useful, and you can apply it to model other objects like tire rims, okay, for a car. So the technique shown here is also applicable to situations where you need to duplicate copies of a section of a cylindrical object. Alright, I hope this video tutorial is helpful. Thanks for watching.